Imagine someone walks up to you and says, God is dead. What would you think? A crazy man? An atheist? Or maybe someone who has looked deep into life and society and seen something the rest of us haven't? This isn't from a movie. It was said by a real man, Friedrich Nietzsche. And with just 3 words, he changed the way the world thinks forever. But wait, did Nietzsche actually want to kill God? Or was he trying to tell us something else? Today, in this video, we'll uncover the real meaning behind this mysterious line that people have misunderstood for over 150 years. The year was 1882. Europe was changing fast. Science was rising, and religion was losing its grip. People had started asking questions. Does God really exist? If science can explain everything, why do we even need God? And then Nietzsche wrote in his book, God is dead. Just 3 words, and the world went into chaos. Churches condemned him. Society called him dangerous. But there was something in his words that no one could ignore. When Nietzsche said, God is dead, he wasn't talking about a physical God dying. He was talking about the death of belief, the death of our old way of thinking. He said, we have killed God because humanity had started relying on science, logic, and technology instead of faith and miracles. We no longer needed divine explanations, we wanted proof. Earlier, religion defined the meaning of life. Now, humans were starting to define it themselves. So, God didn't die, the idea of God died. But Nietzsche wasn't celebrating. He was warning us. He said, when God dies, all our old values die with him. That means no one tells us anymore what's right or wrong. We make our own rules. And if we're not ready for that, the world could fall into chaos. And if you look around today, that chaos doesn't seem far away, does it? Look at today's world. Religion exists, but faith is fading. People still visit temples, churches, mosques, but deep inside, they're unsure. Everyone has their own truth now. One person says, this is right. Another says, no, that's wrong. Different gods, different rules, different meanings. This is exactly what Nietzsche foresaw. A world where absolute truth dies and people fall into a void of confusion. He feared that without a higher purpose, humans would feel empty, that nothing would matter anymore. Nietzsche didn't stop at saying, God is dead. He also said, now we must become God ourselves. It doesn't mean arrogance. It means taking responsibility for creating our own purpose, our own meaning, our own morality. When old meanings die, it's our duty to create new ones. Imagine a child who's always told that God controls everything. Then one day he realizes maybe God isn't real. He feels lost because there's no one left to guide him. But if that same child says, then I'll become my own guide, he doesn't become weaker, he becomes powerful. That's the real message Nietzsche gave to the world. After Nietzsche, his words echoed everywhere, in art, in literature, in politics. People began questioning everything. Art stopped being about worship. It became a search for meaning. Movies like Fight Club, Joker, and No Country for Old Men all carry the spirit of God is dead. They show people breaking free from society's rules and trying to find who they really are. Nietzsche once said, the day man discovers his inner power, he will no longer need any God. For him, the death of God was not an end, it was the birth of the human spirit. Because now, you are your own creator. You are your own judge. You are your own God. So next time you hear someone say, God is dead, don't get scared. It's not an insult to faith, it's a challenge. A challenge that says, if meaning no longer exists, then create your own. Because the real question isn't whether God exists or not. The real question is, now that God is gone, what will you do? We all live in a world where meaning is slipping away. But maybe this is the moment we were meant to stand up and create our own meaning. Because if God is dead, then it's time for humanity to rise as its own creator.